Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be listening from. My spoon shines and my spoon flowers. If you're here, that means that you have met me in my favorite little corner of the internet. I'm Sunny D, RN, BSN. 20-year crony who's pretty much seen it all. Grab your broth, your Gatorade, whatever your spoons will allow. And baby, welcome to Spoon Space. When I was stressing about moving closer to work, my dad said something to me that stayed with me ever since. You cannot let Crohn's disease ruin your life or run your life. You have to live your life, and when Crohn shows up, you just have to deal with that then. That one line shifted absolutely everything, because for a long time, I thought Crohn's was the driver of my whole story. But my dad reminded me that day that I still get to decide who's in the driver's seat. And spoiler alert, it's me. Crohn's might get to ride along, but baby, it's never going to be running the show. And when I first got diagnosed, people really slapped a label on me pretty quickly. Sunny with Crohn's, or that sick girl. And for years, I really wore that label like it was my entire identity. And the sneaky thing about labels is that once people give them to you, it's really easy to start believing them yourself. I didn't see myself as Sunny the dancer, or the friend, or even the woman with dreams. I honestly also saw myself as Crohn's. Really, that's it. But identity is way more complicated than that. Illness is a part of you, but it's never all of you. And when you let one label take up the entire stage, everything else about who you are kind of gets pushed to the background. So the real work, well, at least for me, was peeling back that label and asking, who am I outside of Crohn's? What makes me laugh? What makes me shine? Who am I when I'm not talking about my symptoms or my meds or my flare-ups? And that's when I realized I can't let people's labels define me, because they will always choose the loudest thing that they see. Clock that. I'm actually going to repeat that. You cannot let people's labels define you, because they will always choose the loudest thing that they see. So you have to choose for yourself who you are and protect that version of you very fiercely. Once I stopped letting Crohn's be the center stage headline girly pop, I had to figure out who I actually was. And it took a little bit of time. When your illness is loud, everything else gets shoved to the back. Your brain is like, how do I manage this? How do I make it through the day? And other parts of you, like the fun, the creative, the silly, and soft parts, they really get drowned out. Do you remember the episode Flake Happens, when I said yes to plans, got ready, and then had to cancel those plans last minute? That wasn't Sunny being unreliable. That was Crohn's hijacking the mic. And once I separated my symptoms from my identity, I realized that my illness is not me. So now I live my life as Sunny first. Crohn's is a part of the package, but it's not the whole headline. I take care of myself. I always respect my limits, but I'm still going to show up in the ways that I can, because my chronic illness is only one chapter of my story, and dare I say, a teensy little paragraph. But in all seriousness, that shift really solidified during a conversation with my dad a few years into nursing. I was looking for a new apartment and only really searching near work because I was terrified of the what ifs. What if I needed a bathroom? What if I was late because I was feeling so bad that morning? And my dad, in his straight up dad way, was like, you just can't live like that. Crohn's can ride, but it does not have to drive. And some days it belongs in the trunk with the luggage. And he was so right. I realized that I had been making every decision with Crohn's in mind first. But when I stopped doing that, I actually found an apartment that checked off all of my boxes and ended up being close to work anyway. And that's when it clicked to me. I needed to choose for me first, not for Crohn's. And if I could go back and tell younger me anything, it would definitely be this. You're a whole person, way before your diagnosis. And you're a whole person after. So Crohn's doesn't erase you, It just tags along sometimes. We love a little drop of knowledge, or a little scoop, shall I say. A mini spoon break is just a quick little pause in the episode where I give you a little nugget, a fun fact, a poll, a bit of spoony wisdom. You can think of it as a mid episode refill. Small scoop, but a big impact. Did you know that Crohn's disease was officially described in 1932? And doctors actually thought that it was just a really bad infection. Almost 100 years later, we really still don't fully know what the cause is. Medicine really said, girl, let's keep it mysterious. All right, y'all, mini spoon break over. Let's get back to it. Let's dig a little deeper into this rediscovery. To really pull Crohn's out of my identity, I had to dig pretty deep. And I'm going to sound a little spiritual, and, I am. But I had to do some shadow work, like deep shadow work, asking myself simple questions like, do I love the color blue because it's my birthstone, or because I actually likes the way it makes me feel? Do I believe in Christianity because I was raised that way, or because I actually chose it for myself? That kind of self-reflection is what helped me separate Sunny from Crohn's. And the moment I knew I was stronger than my diagnosis was actually in Costa Rica. I was supposed to go for 5 days, as you all know, but I stayed for about a month and a half with Solange, my sweet little ostomy baby. And now to my parents, that seemed kind of reckless, a little unhinged, that their sick kid with the bag strapped to their stomach is running around in another country. I mean, come on, wouldn't you be nervous too? But I did it, y'all. Not only did I do it, I thrived. I took care of myself. And when I came back, I knew that without a doubt, I was not just that sick girl with Crohn's. I was who I decided I was. And for me, that was more than powerful. All right, I've talked your head off over and over about this rediscovery phase, but please don't be mad at me. What if I told you that that was the easy part? Because that real challenge is not only discovering it, but finally protecting it. And for me, that means boundaries, y'all. Crohn's loves to snatch the mic and make everything about her. And when she does, I snatch that thing right back. You hear me? I check in with myself. Am I good? Do I have what I need? Can I actually do this thing that I said yes to? And baby, if the answer is no to any of those, I'm just going to sit it out. That's not Crohn's talking. That's Sunny choosing. I've also gone back to the things that light me up from the inside. Music, dancing, singing, just moving my body. And those aren't really hobbies. Those are reminders of who I am at my core. Even on my bad days, I try to do something small that makes me feel like me. And I've built daily routines to keep me kind of grounded. In the morning and at night, I do like to take a few moments to myself to set intentions, speak my day into existence, or just kind of check in with myself. At work, if I'm drained, I'll take my breaks in the car with music instead of forcing food. Just small things, but they kind of keep me in touch with me. And if you're listening and you're feeling like your illness has just swallowed your identity in complete wholeness, start small too. Ask yourself those little silly questions. Do I actually like flip-flops, or do I just wear them because they're easy? Do I love athleisure, or did I just adopt that type of style because of comfort? These answers may seem so silly and trivial, but that's where the layers start to peel back, and that's where you start shining through again. And that's really the whole point, right? Your illness might be a part of your story, but it's not the whole damn book. You get to decide who you are outside of it, and you protect that version of yourself like your spoons depend on it, because they do. So whether it's music, fashion, little rituals, or just saying, not today, Satan, that's not your illness talking. That's you taking the mic back, reclaiming your time. And don't forget, you are the writer of your show, and you are the one running it. And that, my loves, is the scoop for today. If you want to stay connected, please follow me on Instagram at The Spoon Space. You can also subscribe on YouTube at Spoon Space, or send your questions, concerns, and anonymous stories to spoonspaceconnect@gmail.com. Most importantly, though, don't forget to save a scoop for yourself because, as I always say, you can't pour from an empty spoon. I'm Sunny D, RNBSN. Thank you for tuning in to Spoon Space, and we'll see you in the next episode.